Hi, dear students. A warm good morning to all of you, and let's continue with the second part of DNA profiling or DNA testing. As we had previously described, we know that the process of DNA profiling is mainly carried out based upon the presence of various short tandem repeats which are being found within the human genome. Now, what are these short tandem repeats? These are small elements or sequences which have been found to be 2 to 5 base pairs in length, which have been repeated within the human genome without any interposed sequences. So they have been found in different types of chromosomes. You can see that if you go to consider the 23 pair of chromosomes, we at different chromosomes, that is at the second, third, fourth, fifth, seventh, eighth, 11th, 12th, 13th, etc. Like these, in different regions of these chromosomes, different loci are being found identified where this short tandem repeats are being found frequently. And to identify these short tandem repeats within the human genome, we always design primers which are being found to be ahead of these short tandem repeats so that the regions which are being coded by these short tandem repeats will get amplified. Now, how does people differ in their STR based profiling is that the number of repetitions of these short tandem repeats will be found to be different in different people. And as a result, what happens? Variations do happen. These short tandem repeats are, in other words, also called as a microsatellites, as we had mentioned in the previous session. Now, if you're going to look an overview of the process, we take a DNA sample, you extract the DNA, and you take labeled primers which have been found to be uh, a little bit ahead or on either side of the short tandem repeats, and they will be fluorescently labeled, and you amplify these short tandem repeats. You carry out capillary electrophoresis, and then you visualize them using after a laser based detection, and you get a electrophoretogram. And using this electrophoretogram, a DNA profile is being created. So any suitable kit or a method can be used for DNA extraction. And like every PCR technique, before the PCR is being carried out, we check the quantity of the DNA using instruments such as nanodrop, or sometimes even spectrophotometer can be used for the detection of the DNA quantity. And then we carry out the PCR amplification. And here we use a multiplex PCR using multiply fluorescent dyes which label the fluorescently labeled primers. Okay. And after the multiplex PCR is in such a way that you use different primers which are being found to be targeting different STR regions, which have been found in different loci. And after the PCR reaction is being carried out, we separate it by capillary electrophoresis. And the detection, as I told you earlier, it is being based upon the signals which are being produced, and a laser based detection will be carried out, and that is connected with a specialized computer software. So in the computer software itself you will get which are the peaks. And after that, after the PCR is carried out, you have the computer based software analysis, and after that you need to find out what is the size of the STR fragment. Okay. Now you might think the size is 5 to 10 base pairs. That is, the repeated units is being found to be 5 to 10 base pairs. When these 5 to 10 base repeats are being found to increase several times, the size of the total STR fragment will be found to be different. Now you can have a look at this. Now it can be, now when TC80 is repeating several times, it can be from 100 base pairs to 400 base pairs. So based upon the number of repeats of this TC80, the size of this STR will be found to be different. Then after that you can find out the genotype of the STR loci, that is the sequence, the total sequence of that can be analyzed, and you have to take the electropherogram here. There is a mistake. You just, yeah, electropherogram is being taken and then you analyze it. Now, how can you analyze this electropherogram? You also have standard electropherograms with the ladder, just like a ladder, which will help you to find out what is the common size of the peaks which are being here, and then you can interpret the STR profile. So we'll be in this session mainly I'll be just trying to help you to analyze the electropherograms which are being developed as a result of the DNA profiling. Now this is a pictorial representation of a capillary electrophoresis where the separation is being carried out in a capillary tube, and of course the capillary tube is immersed in the cathode and the anode. So unlike the conventional gel electrophoresis where you have slabs of gel, here it is being carried out in a capillary tube, and at the same time a detector is also being connected, and as the DNA fragments get separated and the detector will identify them using the fluorescent color label, and then you get a electropherogram which is being connected to your computer. So it's though you think that it has been found to be complicated over here, it's just set in a single instrumentation box where finally you will get your result in a automated manner. Now, another picture which I would like to tell you is, now this is now, during the normal gel electrophoresis, you run a what? You run a DNA ladder so that you can know what is the base pair of each base pair. Now, this is a 500 base pair DNA ladder which you get to purchase. It's a standard ladder, and there are different fragments of DNA sets. So when you each fragment will represent so much base pairs. Now here the lowermost one is 500 base pair. This is 1000 base pair. So you have a ladder here. When you normally do your electrophoresis with your DNA sample itself, you also load your DNA ladder, standard DNA ladder, so that you can compare whether what is the size of your DNA. Now in the case of DNA profiling also, we can also run a what during the when we are doing standard capillary electrophoresis also, you can run a electropherogram, a standard electropherogram ladder, so that we can know what is the size of the each peak and all that. Now, what is this is how a DNA profile has been obtained. Now, this is a ladder, and you can see based upon the size of the different what different DNA fragments, you will get different peaks. Now here it is 80 base pairs. This is 100 base pairs, 120 base pairs, 140 base pairs, 160 base pairs. This is about a ladder. And the approximate value of these are also being indicated over here. You have 105, 175, 245. These are all base pairs which show that the size of this peak is between them. This is 240 and this is 245. So that's clear. And what is RFU? RFU is a relative fluorescence unit. That is, the intensity of this particular peak is being determined by the technique of relative fluorescence unit based upon the detection made done by the fluorescence indicator. Now, if you go to look, I told you in the case of FBI, we use 13 different STR loci to identify or to do the DNA profiling of a particular person. If you go to consider these 13 different loci, you can see that there are different loci in which the STR sequences are being found to be repeated. And each loci have a different repeat sequence. AG80 in the case of CSF IPO. Then in the case of that, in that we have AG80. In TH01 you have TC80 which has been repeated, and the known repeats of this will be found to be varied. Now if you go to consider the sequence of TC80, TC80 can vary from 3 repeats to 13.3 repeats. So the possible number of alleles or different forms of this particular allele of this particular loci is being found to be different. Now, if you go to consider 6 to 14, you can have a one in one person. Sometimes there might be six repeats, sometimes 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So the possible number of alleles of this particular loci, that is D7S820, which has 6 to 14 repeats, is being found to be 8 in number. Just count to 6 to 14, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, 9 repeats, sorry. You have 9 repeats over here in 6 to 14. So like that, for each different loci which we consider, different people will have different repeats, and like depending upon the number of repeats, we say different alleles. Now, if you have 6 repeats, you have call it as a 6 allele. If you have 7 repeats, you call it as a 7 allele. And if you have 9 repeats, you call it as a 9 allele for that particular gene loci. So, when you want to do the DNA profiling of an individual, according to FBI, we have to find out the DNA profiling of all these 13 loci, and you need to find out the DNA profile, what is the allele which is being present there, that also we need to identify. Now, let's do the interpretation. So, as I mentioned earlier, for every loci that we have, the number of repeat is referred to as an allele. Now, if a sequence of a S, or if you have an STR or a short tandem repeat of DS7S20 is found on the chromosome 7, and it can contain 5 to 16 repeats. Okay, so now if you go to count from 5 to 16, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So there are 12 different alleles which have been possible for this particular STR. So sometimes an individual will have 10 alleles, and always in, we have two pair of chromosomes. So in one chromosome, sometimes what happens, this STR might be having 10 repeats, and sometimes he might have in the next chromosome at that particular 15 repeats would be there. And we always know that we consider that half of the genetic material is coming from each parent. So uh, sometimes he might be getting 10, the allele 10 from his one of the parent, and 15 from the other parent. And based upon this, we can also identify the parental disputes also. Now, I'm just depicting you once more what is an allele. Now, if this is a sequence which has been repeated, Taga is a STR, and look, Taga has been repeated here 8 times. So, it is a 8 allele, or it is defined as a 8 allele for a particular loci. This is a flanking regions of okay. Uh, this is an STR loci which has been repeated 8 times, so it is known as a 8 allele. So what is an allele? It is referred to as the number of repeats within an STR is referred to as a allele. And so when you get a DNA profile, you also need to find out what is the allele of that particular loci. Now, if I go to consider this over here, if this is a DNA profile, if you go to look here, as I told you, on the topmost part, you can also find the base pairs of the particular sequence. And in some electrophoreograms, you can also find the peaks, and they have been associated with some numbers. Now, what are these numbers here? These numbers, it refers to the allele size. Now, the number 13 over here, it indicates that it is a 13 repeat. 13 repeats are being found of the STR loci. Consider D8S11 S1179. Okay, so for that particular loci, there is an allele which is having 13 repeats, and at the same time there is also one more allele which is having a 15 repeat. Okay, so if I take a person's in DNA and do a PCR amplification for a particular STR, that he could be what either considered to be having two alleles for a particular STR loci. If he is having two alleles for that, he will have two different peaks. And the number of repeat is the one which has been shown over here. Okay. Now in this particular next loci, so we will be finding out the what the DNA profile for all the 13 different STR loci if we are doing a FBI analysis. Now in the case of Indian scenario, I had mentioned in the last class, it was only 9 loci that we consider. So depending upon what agency or is being carrying out the DNA profiling, the number of STR loci which we analyze is being found to be different. But whatever be the process, we do find out what is the DNA profile or what are the number of alleles which have been found over here. So if you go to look this loci, okay, now this loci, yeah, D351358, you can see that you have only one peak over here. Another one is a short peak, which is not of much intensity, and there is only one peak. That means he's having two alleles, but with the same what? With the same number of repeats. Same in the case of 7 here. In the case of TH01, here he is having, that is around 175 base pairs, and a repeat of 7 repeat of this STR loci is been, that is, it has been found to be what? Homozygous in nature for this particular STR loci. Same is in the case of D135317, as we are finding only one peak. But here, if you go to look at this one, you are having two peaks. One is having a repeat of 10 and the other one is having a repeat of 11. So like that, you analyze the profiles of different individuals. Now, if you go to look here, again you have one peak, so it is homozygous for this particular STR loci. And here you have two alleles, one for 12 and one 13. And same way, you can also use the STR loci associated with the X chromosome. Now you can see here, there is only, for X, there is only one peak. So this is a female's sample. But if you go to look here, you can see that there are two peaks associated with the chromosome, with the X chromosomes and all that. And so you can see there is a one X and Y. So it indicates that it is a male sample. So using a DNA profile itself, you can find out what is the alleles, what are the alleles associated with the different STR loci. And the total repeats of that could also be carried out. So to interpret a case sample, the analyst notes what peak patterns are present in each loci, and each loci will include the contribution from the mother and the father. And if they have been found to be different, then the two peaks will appear, such as only if they are different, you will get two different peaks. But if both the parents have the same number of base pair repeats at a given loci, only one peak will appear, such as here in the case of D. See here, you have only one particular peak repeat because both the parents have the same peak repeat at that particular loci. And if you're going to consider the parental disputes. Now, if a mother is having a repeat of 5 repeat and a 10 repeat for a particular gene loci, and a father is having a 7 repeat and a 13 repeat, the child would probably have two different alleles which are being contributed by the mother as well as the father. So in this particular case, it is quite evident that he has received one from the mother and one from the father. We will continue with the allelic frequency and statistical analysis of the DNA profiling in the next sessions. Thank you for now.